Konnichiwa, Japan fans. In today's show, we're going to continue with our series on virtual selling. Eigo desu. それでは行きましょう. Let's get going. This is the Sales Japan series podcast broadcasting around the world from the Beverly Hills of Japan, Minato-ku, here in downtown Tokyo. It is chic central. I'm your host, Dr. Eric Storer, your corporate coaching and training guy committed to your success, the president of Dale Carnegie Training Japan, the best-selling author, Japan Sales Mastery and Japan Business Mastery. In this podcast, I want to help you to survive. And we are looking at our 4th anniversary with this episode. 52 weeks a year, 4 years in a row, never missed an episode, putting out the Sales Japan series. And we, in this last 8 months, have been going through a very torrid time. And I'm hoping that this podcast has been able to help people some way or some fashion to find a way through and to hang in there and keep going. Now, we are not sponsored by Libsyn, but we value your privacy, which is why we have our podcast hosted by Libsyn. Unlike some other hosting organizations, Libsyn has a strict policy that does not allow access to your private information by anyone. Here's our daily podcast lineup on iTunes. Mondays, the Cutting Edge Japan Business Show. Tuesday, the Presentations Japan series. Now, every second Tuesday, we have the Business Tachirin no Oshie Show. Wednesdays, we have the Sales Japan series. Thursdays, the Leadership Japan series. And every second Thursday, we have the Business Pro Podcast. Fridays, the Japan Business Mastery Show. And Saturdays, Japan's top business interviews. Now, this is episode number 208. Today, we're talking about virtual selling, handling objections. Most buyers are hurting at the moment, as entire industries are under assault and many of the remainder are in a perilous state. The common American style of aggressive salesperson reaction to pushback from buyers just doesn't work in Japan in normal times, let alone now. We need to recognize this when we are sitting in front of the buyer, when we are both online, and we need to change our mindset. Hopefully, we will have thought about the possible objections from the buyer ahead of time, and we'll have dealt with these already in the solution provision stage. There may still be concerns, and we will have flushed these out with our trial close. We have to see objections as good to have. The worst thing is to have no objections and no sale. There is nothing to work with in this situation. The buyer is hiding their objections because they have decided not to buy, but don't want the aggravation of the seller arguing with them about it or being annoying. Getting an objection then is good news, not as good as getting a yes, but still giving us something to apply our sales skills to. We know there is never a no answer. It is just a no at this time in the market, in this business cycle, for this offer, in this context. We have to see the objection as a signal that we didn't do a good enough job educating the buyer about the value our solution will bring. Remember, we made the decision for them to buy. We looked through our solution lineup and selected a solution to match their issue. If we didn't have the right match, we would have moved on to find a buyer we could serve. There is a structure we can follow to make sure we are going to be able to help the buyer who is in doubt still. In this order, we need to listen, cushion, question, provide evidence of value, and then evaluate their reaction. Listening sounds easy, except that most salespeople are not skilled at really listening. They jump around between pretending to listen and selective listening. Pretend listening is going on because their brains are on fire with what they will say next. They've stopped listening to the client because they believe they know what the client is thinking. The selective listening is where they pick up on key words, which then drives them down a road toward a solution. Their seller brain switches over to how they are going to explain that to the buyer. Again, they have stopped listening to the client. We have to suspend these two proclivities and go up the scale to attentive and proactive listening, especially for what is not being said. Find out more when we come back from the break. Our show today is brought to you by our public courses, but we also do custom in-house programs. We do these in our Super Safe classroom. We do them live online. We do them in Japanese. We do them in English. Today's show is sponsored by, on October the 30th, our advanced leadership training looking at performance evaluations. On the 5th of November, we will start our 5-week virtual selling mastery program. On the 6th of November, we'll have our next advanced leadership training focusing on coaching. Get my best-selling books, Japan Sales Mastery. This is the Bible for selling in Japan, and Japan Business Mastery. Both are available on Amazon. Check out our website, enjapan.dalecarnegie.com, to find out more about those programs, sponsored by us today. And if you like learning by watching videos, we've got over 1,000 for you at Japan Dale Carnegie TV on YouTube. We release 3 TV shows every week on YouTube. The Cutting Edge Japan Business Show, that's the premier business show in Japan, comes out every Monday. Fridays, we have the Japan Business Mastery Show. Saturdays, we release Japan's top business interviews. This is where I interview leaders all the way from SMEs to the corporate captains of industry on one topic, leading in Japan. Every second Thursday, we release the Business Pro Television Show. Don't forget, you can email me at greg.story@dalecarnegie.com. Welcome back. If we hear a no, we tend to get more energetic and forceful with the buyer. This then makes them dig in more, and they tend to stop listening to us as well. What we need is the chance to be heard, so we use a cushion. A cushion is a mental breaker switch between the no and what we are going to say. The cushion's job is to open up the buyer's brain to hear our ideas. Positive cushions are great because they help the buyer to relax because they think they are not going to get into an argument with us. For example, if they say our price is too high, we can say, yes, you're right. It is very important to consider the financial health of the business when making new decisions. Saying, yes, you are right, is always a recommended start to the conversation because we are agreeing with them and their resistance is removed. Now we have their mental guard lowered. We sweetly and softly ask for clarification. May I ask you why you say our price is too high? We are seeking more than the headline they have given us about pricing. We want the full accompanying article supporting this frosty headline. This will release more information about their issue. A client told me our price was too high. When more information was released on why he thought that, it turned out the issue wasn't the number. It was the timing of the payment that was the issue. If I had tried to argue with him, I would have never come up with a plan to split the payments to make it work for both of us. When we were presenting our solution, we were guessing what they will value in our proposition. When we get to the objection stage, we now have a much better idea of the issue for them and whether we in fact do have a workable solution which will be a win-win for both of us. This is massive progress. If we do have a solution, this is the point where we focus our evidence right on this point of importance to them. To check if we're on the right track, we need to ask them to evaluate what they have just heard and give us some feedback. We can say, "How does that sound?" And then, "Shut up." We must not speak. Don't elongate the point, or add, or adjust, or get mealy-mouthed about the wording. Just sit there in stone-cold silence, but smile. Let them speak, because we will learn more of value now than in the whole conversation to this point. This is the finish line of the marathon, and we are centimeters from the result. Don't blow it. Thank you for joining the Sales Japan series. If you found the program useful, then please work on your karma and share this with your family, friends, and colleagues. Don't forget to subscribe and share this podcast. Immediately apply what you've learned today. Go out there and survive. Use it. Remember, I'm your corporate coaching and training guide committed to your survival here in Nippon.